I am joined here on Ski TV by Kimberley Kay. She is an artist and I'm assuming a skier. I'm Michael Conniff. I'm the editor at large at Ski TV. And it's great to have you, Kim. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be here. Yes, I am a skier, definitely.
You are a skier. Now, you are in Sheffield, England. Is that right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, South Yorkshire.
And is that doesn't strike me as the best place in the world to be a skier.
Well, I grew up on dry slopes in Lancashire and with a lot of holidays to the Alps, and then worked in skiing, teaching children to ski, worked in Austria, and we have a family property in France. So it's kind of the family sport. So it's something that we've always done.
That's nice. Do you have kids who do it as well?
I have stepchildren that I've introduced it to, and they're having a great time skiing.
Okay. And how many years have you been skiing, if you had to add it all up?
Over 40 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be very complimentary and say, so you started young.
5.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So when I saw your profile on LinkedIn, I wanted to speak to you because you are an artist of skiing as well as a skier. So and you're actually, you've got a book, which we want to talk about. But before we get to the book, let's talk about just what drew you to the subject, other than just, loving skiing and obviously being a fan like a lot of us are, but you're a fan who's an artist. So what made you decide to focus on skiing?
Well, I was looking around and it's something that I know really well. And I was looking and thinking, no one seems to be particularly illustrating skiing, or I wasn't seeing it. And I thought, maybe it's not on trend. And I thought a few months later, I was thinking, no, this is silly. I think it's possibly because people don't know about it. So I decided that I was going to start illustrating skiing. It's something that I know about. I've worked in it, love it. And for me, it's something that photography can't always reflect the joy and the exhilaration of skiing. We ski, we've got a helmet on, we've got goggles on, we might have sort of a big collar and like a turtleneck covering our face. And so a lot of that emotion and that just exhilaration of skiing is lost really in photography. And I always think that illustration should try and do something that photography can't. And so that's what I try and do with my illustrations, is to show the joy and to kind of encourage people to try skiing, but maybe if not to try skiing, just to sort of get out there and kind of enjoy life.
And skiing as a vehicle for life, as a
yeah.
Right. So so we are all familiar with the phrase ski porn, which does not relate to your work, but it's used to describe I think mainly videos, but there is such a business of producing, over-the-top videos of over-the-top skiers and snowboarders. And also, you mentioned photography. There's also a fairly, large cohort of photographers who I've known several personally who pride themselves on being good enough skiers to go up into the backcountry and the far reaches and get amazing shots that just seem out of this world. Mm-hmm. But your skiers are in a different world. Now I can see over your shoulder you've got pull in. Let's go to the let's grab those skiers.
This one.
That one, yeah, that's a good start. Yeah. So show that, make it a little closer. Yeah. So people can see.
Not good.
So certainly I would describe your stuff as playful, very colorful. But what are you thinking about when you make this kind of art?
Like I say, it's trying to show the joy. It's kind of like trying to represent the feelings. Like if you got a real ski jumper, she'd probably be looking straight down the mountain. She's looking focused. There's probably quite a sort of somber expression on her face. Whereas this is possibly how she's feeling when she's jumping, and that feeling of flight and freedom. And I think we have an immense sense of freedom as skiers, that I can't imagine life without feeling those feelings. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create the book, to be able to try and demystify it, give people information, to be able to feel that they can try try skiing. So these ones are doing their stretches. I mean, you know, it's like a full body sport, isn't it?
Yes.
You get yourself in all these kind of positions, and so yeah, so showing the joy.
Why is it important to you? You can put that down, I guess. Why is it important to you to, yeah, well, we can still see it. Why is it important to feel the freedom? Not just in your work, but also skiing. Why does that matter?
I mean, to me, there's a lot of darkness that's put across in kind of murder mysteries, and the news agenda is really negative. And so I think, you know, for me, it's like I find it all quite kind of weighty. Whereas if you can try and kind of, for me, I try to create stuff that counters the darkness a little bit. Let's have some fun. You know, if we're not here to enjoy ourselves, then I think we're having a pretty disappointing ride. So, you know, life isn't always easy, but if we can try and make it fun, you know, and I think that skiing is a time where we're out in nature, we're in the fresh air, we're in a stunning environment. You've got the peaks, the mountains, the snow. It's just blissful. And, you know, those feelings. And
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. You know, it reminds me, I taught skiing to 3 to 5 year olds at Smuggler's Notch in Vermont in the United States. And it was a lot of fun, but I have to be honest with you, you will hear a million people tell you that, oh, I love watching the kids. They're not afraid. It's so great. They have no fear. Now, my experience of that was completely the opposite. I thought they had, my experiences was that they had nothing but fear. That in fact, they were terrified at the beginning. And that what made them do it, it certainly wasn't me or the other instructors. What made them do it was actually being in a line with other kids who they don't realize are as afraid as they are. Now, once they get going, it's a different story. But in your art, you've mentioned hope and freedom, or joy and freedom. And I have to ask, what made you want to focus on kids? I mean, you as an artist, you can paint anything, you can design anything. So what was it about kids in particular?
Oh, they're not all. Some of the. I mean, they're actually. You know, I mean, this is a younger one. These are more adults, and then we've got more like you kind of freestylers. You know, kind of doing sort of kind of
more of a teenager. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's not, no, the books everyone in there. There's people in there from little tots right through to older people, because everyone can start, you know, kind of at any age and stage. And I think you raise a good point though about fear. And I think that one of the things that I wanted to do with the Ski A to Z book is to try and equip people with information and to empower them so that they feel they've got the information that they need to be able to not feel like a, you know, kind of like out of their depth and uncomfortable. I think, especially for adults, you know, we don't like falling down and it's embarrassing and humiliating, but part of learning to ski is that you are going to fall down, you know, and everyone, you know, will fall over at some point. And if you're not, you're probably not trying hard, you know. You know, and so the book is meant to sort of give people the information and equip them with facts and understanding about different lift types, about how your bindings work, you know, what you should wear, and all that kind of the questions that you just wouldn't know if you've never skied. And so say someone comes to you and they say, you know, I want to learn to ski, you know, it looks like you have a great time, what do I need to do? You know that it takes a lot for your friend to have enough information to go from that question to then being able to actually be there, stood there on their skis. And so the book is like something that you can then recommend and say, right, okay, try the Ski A to Z, go away, read that, and then let's have a conversation. And so but yeah, I think fear, I think, is something that we have where we don't have information and we feel stressed because, you know, we kind of feel uncomfortable and out of our depth. And hopefully the book can help people to be learning, feeling more enjoyment.
And I have to point out now, I'm a Premier League soccer fan, so I'm not unmindful of the English, the true English language. So when you say ski A to Z, we might say on this side of the pond, we might say ski A to Z. But either way, that's your book. And tell us what you wanted to accomplish. What was it that, is it a guide? Is it, is it for a certain age? Tell us a little bit more about that.
It's for all ages, because I think that we look at social media posts, and we look at a social media post because it's got an engaging photo that draws us in. So there's pictures right through the book. It's fully illustrated, and it literally goes through the alphabet, giving information about avalanche, about après ski, and it goes right through to, X marking a place for an accident, where to stay, how to sort of make your accommodation choices. So really, I wanted the book to be an illustrated introduction to demystify skiing, to make it more accessible to people, so that they can feel they have the information to be able to give it a go. That's really what the intention of the book is. I've got a picture of the cover. So this is what the cover is going to look like.
It's very handy having you in your studio. I like that. And where will people be able to get the book? So
it's available for pre-order now for December delivery.
And where would they pre-order? On Amazon, or what would be?
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any book retailer, and any bookshop. You can order it through. So it's priced at $12.95, and so it's on pre-order now. So
buy it. Yes, the idea is to buy it. Now, tell us a little bit more about your other forays in art. I know you're a designer. Have you done any other art that's ski related per se, other than the book?
Yeah, so Dan Egan, Dan, extreme skier.
I do not actually, but tell me about him.
Okay, so Dan Egan contacted me last November and said, I need some illustrations for my book. I'm writing with Eric Wilbur. And so Dan said to me, can you do me 10 illustrations? He'd seen my work on LinkedIn and said he thought it looked really authentic. And so could I create some sketches? So I did the sketches, and he actually commissioned then 22 pieces. If I can just show you. So this is basically Dan Egan's story of his life. But also there's a lot of contextual information about ski industry and extreme skiing in the US, and also a global perspective. So it is a great read. So these tabs are where all my illustrations are. That's one of my favorite ones.
Now, how would you describe that?
So that's a black and white painting in watercolors, and it's basically capturing that kind of exhilaration of those perfect powder days when you're just bouncing through the snow, and just them magic days. So Dan put the book out in, I think, January, February this year. That's another one. So
yeah. So you, and there's a video cassette, which we don't see that often these days.
Yeah, well, that's it. But I mean, it's like that was one of the things that for them was a big game changer, the start of the VHS market, which meant that ski films and ski content was lifted out of the theaters, and people could watch it at home, like for the first time. I mean, we take that for granted, with YouTube and social media, that we can just literally just scroll through, amazing, like, kind of ski footage, on our phone. Whereas then people would have to go to a cinema to see the Warren Miller films, which is how Dan came through. He was in 12 Warren Miller films.
Oh, is that right? Yes, Warren Miller has a lot to do with what happened to the ski industry. So let's talk about your skiing. Now, it's we're doing this in the fall of 2021.
Yeah.
So I am going to start referring to it as post-pandemic. I don't really care about the reality. We're going to act like we're past it, and in many cases we are past it. But in your case, living where you live, and where is Sheffield, near London, or where is it as a?
No, Sheffield's, we're kind of like about sort of 2.5 hours from London. So we're in the north of England. So for us, the ski options are, there's a snow slope at Leeds, about sort of 40 minutes away. We've got dry slope in Derbyshire. There used to be a big ski slope here, a big dry ski slope, like probably the best one in that kind of northern band of the UK. But unfortunately, that closed down, and they're trying to get another one.
Do you mean indoor? By dry slope, do you mean an indoor?
No. So outdoor, the Dendix matting, the kind of the sort of diamond shaped matting. It's like a brush matting, which it's a great surface to ski on, but not so good when when you crash your face. And
right. There's a bunch of activity in the indoor space, Alpine here in the Washington, D.C. area, and lots of others. So you've got a few things close by, and when I saw Sheffield, and you don't even have Sheffield, England on your LinkedIn profile, I just realized you must be the home of Sheffield Wednesday, which is a football club, as we would say in soccer, but a football club that has really the coolest name in all of sports. Sheffield Wednesday. I can't believe that a team would be named after a day of the week. So that's where you live. But when you start to think, dream a little bigger, think a little bigger, and try to get out of England to ski, do you go to your family home in France, or where do you go?
Yeah, so we go there. We go to we've got an apartment there for accessing the three valleys, Les Trois Vallées. So Meribel, Courchevel, over to Val Thorens. So that's the area that we ski most. And then from there, we can also go up to Champagny on Vanoise, and then we go over, or you can go all the way then right through to Les Arcs.
And where do you fly into? How do you get there from your home?
Geneva, normally. We fly into Geneva, and then you're kind of talking about sort of 90 minutes, 2 hours drive, depending on the traffic.
Okay, so that flight is only a couple hours?
Yeah, hour and a half. Yeah.
Hour and a half, yeah. So I'm just, it's hard for us to get, out here we talk about the wide open spaces. It takes a little longer sometimes certainly to get out west, but even to go east sometimes in skiing. And so tell me what projects, where do you hope your art, your skiing will take you in the coming years?
I would really like, kind of dreams would be like magazine covers, whether it's ski magazine or maybe lifestyle. And I'd like my illustrations to be used in probably equipment campaigns, by the big ski equipment manufacturers, marketing campaigns, that kind of art. I've been contacted about another book, which I can't talk about, to do some ski illustrations for that. So really just trying to kind of get the message out there that I'm creating, ski specific art. I am a skier. I'm coming to it, with that knowledge and experience, and then I want to then apply that. Yeah.
And what's and I guess you want to spread that message of joy, as you said it, and that message of freedom.
Yeah, and just going beyond the daily lives and trying to when we have feelings of joy, I think we then need to try to think, okay, well, was it about that made that joyful for me? And then trying to then lean in to those experiences. And I think we can make life better by getting to know and tuning in to where we respond and where we feel those feelings, so that we can try to feel it more. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what the overall kind of underlying principle of what I'm doing is about, sort of tuning into joy and feeling it more.
Well, that's probably a good place to stop and to thank you. Kimberley Kay is an artist in Sheffield. Is your club Sheffield Wednesday, or you don't care about football?
I'm not into football. My husband is, but no, it's skiing, skating, tennis. They're my sports and interests. Skiing first and foremost.
Yeah, well, that's great, and we're delighted to have you on Ski TV, and thanks so much for being with us.
Brilliant. Have a great season, everyone.
Okay.